Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. So how you doing? Today's more of a firewood work day. Let me kind of show you what I'm doing here, because I got these firewood logs. See them over here? We've been cutting on this. I got a lot of chunks here that need split. So that's basically my focus for today. But a vast majority of this is too big to handle, so I'm going to be noodling, quartering, and stuff like that. And I also got my splitter here that hasn't been started since the weather got cold. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get it fired up and let it run, just trying to clear out any old gas that might be in there, you know what I mean. I'm going to do that while I'm stacking this wood. And yeah, that's basically what's going to be going on. But we're going to be running a saw too. Let me show you. This is the saw we are going to be running. This is a Homelite VI-130. I did port this saw. This saw was built for Justin Weaver, but this saw still needs the rings seated. So I'm curious to see how it performs after the rings are seated, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna know that until I seat the rings. And I thought today would be a perfect opportunity to get a bunch of run time on it to get them rings seated. Should build a bit more compression and just, run better in the end. We've seen it happen a bunch of times, and I'm curious to see how this one ends up. Now, I do have a square chain on it. This is a square grind chain. There's a gentleman out there who sent me a bunch of square ground chain. This is one of them. This is, I think, one of the least aggressive ones that he sent me. He sent me one that had a side beak and I think 3 at different levels of aggressiveness. And this is, I think, one of the least ones, maybe the middle. I know I rocked one of them. I still have 1 or 2 that haven't been used at all. So, and I noticed one of them looks like it's quite a bit more towards a race grind. But we'll get there eventually. Today is more about getting these rings seated. It was a used cylinder. It was a used piston. It was a used set of rings. But none of them came from matching parts. Like the piston came out of a different cylinder, you know what I mean? So the rings aren't going to be perfectly seated for this cylinder, which means I'm going to have to run the snot out of it until the rings seat up good. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes 10 tanks, but we'll see. Now the splitter is busted, so it may not last more than 2 minutes. Right there where it attaches to the cylinder, she's busted off. She's just hanging on by a thread. Now, it'll still push just fine. It's just its ability to pull it back is pretty, it's probably going to fail here pretty quickly. What I'm going to do, though, I think I'm going to take the 4-way split off and just push with, the single split. See if we can get it to last a little longer. Then I got to go in here. The issue with this braking is I think that pusher is just too big. So I think I'm going to just chop that sucker down quite a bit and make it quite a bit smaller, because the issue seems to be that it's pushing on the sides, you know what I mean? She'll push here on the side more, and it creates like a pinch point there, and it breaks it off. So, yeah, I'm going to chop that pusher down quite a bit, and hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. But anyway, what do you say? We get to work. I'm going to get some wood stacked, and I don't think I'll video any of that. Get the splitter running, and then I'll bring you in for some of the cutting stuff and maybe a little bit of splitting. All right. right, so yeah, I got all that wood stacked, as you can see. Now I gotta get this splitter repositioned, but the tire over here is flat, so I think I'll just drag it up, pump up that tire, and get it repositioned. I'm basically gonna stick it here with like the motor part facing that direction, and basically set up to where I just move along, split, and I'm gonna literally cut a pass through all them logs, up and around, splitting and stacking. That's the plan. She wasn't hard to start at all. I mean, she sat all winter pretty much. Wasn't hard to start at all. All I had to do was pull on it for about 15 minutes, then drained out all the fuel, refilled it, and then pulled on it for another probably 15-20 minutes until she fired. So yeah, it was not hard at all. You know, all you got to do is forget to get your gas out of there and get something good and stabilized for the winter, you know, and she'll start right up for you. But anyway, well, there's my progress for today. I think I burned off a tank of gas in the splitter. There's the boys that come out to play. There's two of them. So that is Levi and Jacob. They came out to play. Cody's still in the house. I want to get the splitter all the way up there. So you can see I don't have much left to do to get it all the way up there. So yeah, we're getting there. I got through this much. I split a little wood. I went in, ate lunch, and I came out and tinkered with a little bit. Made a video on the 385, and yeah, we got some stuff happening. My plan is to just basically get my stack all the way up there, run it out sideways, and then whatever's left in the center probably get split and stacked out for the shop. So we're about halfway up right now, so we got a bit to go. All right, so yeah, the Homelite's running good for the most part. It's having some carb issues, it looks like. It is unable to supply enough fuel. I can reach it up as much as I want, and it just stays on the lean side. I got that screw turned out far enough now that it's probably trying to leak past the screw. So we're gonna do a little investigating here. Definitely having some carb issues. Yeah, that screw is so far out right now, I'm surprised it hasn't fallen out. We will look at doing a metering lever adjustment, I think. And then, I don't know what. We'll see how that does. I think if I can get this fuel delivery just right, that, yeah, she'll run better. I think torque will come up and everything. She seems extremely zingy because it's on the lean side. But yeah, we'll get into it, figure it out. This chain, it cuts great. I prefer chains to have a little more self-feed than this one. I did run one of his square grinds before that had a whole lot more self-feed than this one. So this might be one of the ones that's laid back a bit. Definitely better suited for falling. Something whenever you need a lot of control in the dogs, this chain is for that. This chain just feels like it's better suited for something on the dog. You know what I mean? So one of the reasons he sent me all these chains is so that I can put some time into sorting out what kind of a grind I like, because there's different levels of aggressiveness you can make. And so we're going through and we're trying them. Great cutting chain though. I just prefer to have a little more self-feed. So we got a couple other ones we're going to try out, and I'm kind of working on sorting out how I want my square grind done, you know what I mean, to see exactly what kind of performance level I'm looking for in my chain. But anyway, hey, I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.